We've grown accustomed to having access to a tremendous wealth of information, so perhaps it should come as no surprise that we can now add location information to our images and review that information in powerful ways. With the relatively cheap availability of global positioning system technology, it is now remarkably easy to include detailed location information with your images. Here I have an image from Mikkel Oland that contains GPS information. In the Library module, I can scroll down on the right panel into the Metadata pane and take a look at the GPS coordinates. Now, of course, to most people, GPS coordinates are not exactly useful information, but I can still use this information to see exactly where this image was taken on a map. To do so, all I need to do is click on the GPS coordinates, and a web browser will launch showing me that location in Google Maps. This happens to be in satellite view so that I can see satellite imagery of the specific location. I could also use the map view to look at a more traditional map of the location. As I zoom out, I start to get a better context of the exact location in the context of Earth. And speaking of Earth, I can also use Google Earth to view this location. Clicking on the Earth option, I can then zoom in on the location and take a closer look at exactly where this image was captured. But not only can I look at that location, I can look at it with remarkable flexibility. I can lower or raise my view, I can back up, move to the side, etc. For example, here I'll tilt upward so that I can actually take a look at the location as though I were flying above it. This gives us a tremendous amount of flexibility in terms of how I'm able to view the location where this image was captured. And on top of it, it's a lot of fun. Of course, there are also times when you don't have GPS information embedded in an image. Such is the case with this capture. I know exactly where I was when I took this picture, but that information is not contained within the image itself. However, I can add that information to this image thanks to a plugin that's available for Lightroom. To access, first, I'll need to determine the GPS coordinates of the location I took this image. Fortunately, that's quite easy with Google Maps. So I'll switch back to my web browser, and in the Google Maps search box, I'll type in the location where I captured this image. In this case, it was Ding Darling National Wildlife Refuge in Florida. Once I've navigated to that location, I'll switch to Map View, and then zoom in and get a closer look. I'll close the tag for the location and zoom in closer and start to zero in on the specific location where the image was taken. There's Ding Darling on the map, and as I zoom in, I can take a look at the roads, and yes, this would be the location where I captured this image. So I'll right-click on that location and choose What's Here. That will place a pin on the map, but it will also give me my GPS coordinates in the search box. I'll simply copy those GPS coordinates and then switch back to Lightroom. From the File menu, I'll then choose Plugin Extras and click on GeoEncode. Now you do need to download and install this plugin in order to put it to use, but it can be found through the Plugin Manager. So I'll choose GeoEncode, and that will bring up the GeoEncoding Support plugin. I can now paste the location information into the text box here. Notice that it's provided a text description of the location for me as well. I can then click GeoEncode Image to add the information to the metadata for this file. I'll click OK and then dismiss this dialog. Now on the metadata pane, I'll click on the pop-up at the top of the pane and choose GeoEncoding. Now I can see the particular details, and if I click on the button to the right of the map coordinates, it will show me the location in Google Maps. And of course, I have all the same capabilities to view it in satellite view or in Earth view, depending on my preference. While GPS features in Lightroom are somewhat basic, they do offer an impressive ability to review the location where any image was captured. Not only is this fun and interesting, but it can also be very useful when you want to return to a particular location for more photography.